Sportsboyz, and we're only 4 minutes late. I am your host, Sam Brown. I'm here to talk about some sports and oh, god damn it, I did the wrong title. I'm gonna stop this and start. I forgot to update the info. We're going live, and it says Jesus. Sportsboyz. Greg, this is my co-host, Greg Johnson. Greg, we're dying here. We're dying.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Let me do you a favor and bring this show back to life, Sam.
All right,
it's great to be here with you, as always. And we're joined
stop and we're gonna
also
come
this
back.
week. Oh.
Reload your thing. Hit reload. I wanted people to get the correct info and see if we can get that alert out there again.
What's up, Sam? It's good to talk to you. It's
What's
good
up,
to
Greg?
talk to it's good to get together and talk sports with you and all your fans in the chat, and it's good to be here joined by our friend this week as well.
Yes, we have a very good guest, a very old friend who's a great guest. Our first guest ever on Sportsboyz. Ladies and gentlemen, you might know him from the very popular podcast We Watch Wrestling. Give it up. He's Jesse Pop's friend. Give it up for Mr. Vince Averill. Hey, he's on.
Boys, that was the best reload since Metallica's Reload. Wow, I had no idea. The distinction of being the first guest on Sportsboyz.
Oh my God, what a fun 2 hours this is gonna be.
Yeah.
2 hours.
And sometimes 3.
Hey, you're good for however long you want to. If you want to dip early, you can Irish goodbye.
No.
You can be like,
Oh.
I gotta go to the bathroom for a second and just leave your screen up. We're good with it. It's pretty fast and loose here on Sportsboyz.
Nice. Pull the old Pee Wee Herman.
Fast and loose. Give it one of these. What's up? Vince, are you betting on the Super Bowl, bro?
Dude, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole, man.
Man.
I'm not some honk from New England who's going by way of Tampa Bay this weekend. You know what I'm saying?
It is a really interesting matchup, I think, and for some reason I'm feeling like people are rooting for Tom Brady maybe more than they were when he was on the Patriots. There's this vibe of like, hey, he's like 43 now and he's doing the impossible. So it seems like there's more positivity directed at him, and they love that he's facing Mahomes, the future GOAT. I don't know that Tampa Bay can beat Kansas City. However, there's this big issue they're talking about with the Super Bowl that's 4 of the starting linemen on Kansas City for their offensive line are injured. So Pat Mahomes is going to be working with a hodgepodge offensive line, and everyone knows that I love line play. I just watch the football games for it only for the line play. So we're going to be talking about that in these next 2 hours, talking about Super Bowl, basketball, Royal Rumble, a lot of great things on here.
Yeah. I'll say for me, man, with Tampa Bay, I had sort of watched them go along the season. I was like, oh, they're doing pretty good. Like, Brady's having a good showing. But last week when they went into Lambeau and just really put on a show, I was like, oh, this is real. Like I didn't think Tampa Bay was like totally for real. And so now I have sort of turned a corner on them, and I'm not sure they can beat Kansas City either, but they look a lot better to me than I thought they were.
Definitely. Yeah. But I mean, Kansas City this year, like, I mean, like Tampa Bay's had some big wins. Kansas City, like when was their last big win? I feel like every game they just barely won.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot's been said about that they haven't been that dominant, but I don't know. I think this could be like a Chiefs 41, Tampa Bay 21. But the thing is that Tom Brady could do it again, and then I'll be the first one to say I believed in him all the way because I love Tom Brady.
All right. So have you as a Patriots fan, have you had this happen where I've had friends who aren't big football fans, and they come up to me and they go, "Oh, I guess it's definitive that Bill Belichick was just a guy." Have you had that? Have you had that? Like, now that Tom Brady,
I can't. I'm, of course, here in Brooklyn. I can't leave my apartment building without multiple people asking me that question everywhere I go. Even in the pandemic, which I thought would slow things, it's only picked up now, especially in the bye week for the Super Bowl. Just people confronting me on the street when I leave my house saying, "Hey, Sportsboyz. You know, Belichick's just a guy and Brady is the GOAT." Well, I'll tell you two things. One, of course, Brady's the GOAT. We've known that for years now. I mean, at least since the Falcons' comeback has he been the GOAT, no discussion. And two, Belichick is still the coach GOAT, okay? I'm saying it right now. He's still the coach GOAT. You know, they needed each other clearly, and clearly some things have not gone according to plan for New England, but I think the New England Patriots might get a new quarterback this offseason, somebody like Deshaun Watson. There, we'll talk about it.
Ooh, Deshaun Watson. Ooh, but I heard today
in New England,
Houston's playing hard to get. They're saying he's not up for sale.
Well, they don't have to do anything right now. It's early, you know. It's still February, but I think you know, by April, Deshaun Watson's going to be the quarterback for the New England Patriots.
I'll tell you, the guy nobody's calling just a guy, Gronk. Gronk is going to show up and show out on Sunday. Yes or no?
I feel like he had a touchdown, right? In the last game, he got a touchdown. But he had a touchdown. I saw some looks that Brady was giving him that I was like, oh, that was a sympathy pass. Like, he was covered. Like, Brady was jumped in the time machine. He was passing to Gronk from 4 years ago.
Yeah. Gronk is not able to meet him. Gronk can't meet him on that field of, you know, Brady only eats like 2 or 3 foods that exist, and you know, works out his mind, body, and soul every day of the off season type situation.
Yeah, he's a real weirdo.
Definitely.
Gronk is just such a mess. It's sad to me, you know, ever since that interview he did, you know, where he refused to talk about Aaron Hernandez, and he talked about how he was happy being retired because, you know, as Gronk said, he had injuries to his head and body that, you know, didn't really translate for, like, he was 29 at the time. And now he's back, and he says he's going to come back next year. So I don't know. I hope he wins the Super Bowl at least.
Well, I mean, he was utterly emasculated. I don't know if you guys saw this video from behind the scenes, but when he hosted last year's WrestleMania, Gronk, he did this dive onto a bunch of guys on the floor. And when they were rehearsing it, he was scared to do it. So Vince McMahon did the dive. He was like, move, and showed him. He's like, look, it's no big deal. Just fucking jump off of this thing. Very emasculating for a professional, you know?
Now, how old is Vince McMahon?
He's got to be 70. I think he might just be 70 or somewhere right around there. Definitely in his late 60s.
He's old enough. He definitely has the vaccine.
If he believes it.
Yeah, if he believes it. So to be a 27-year-old guy and have like a 70-year-old be like, you wuss, move over.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
Yeah,
I think maybe Edge has the vaccine too.
Oh, he looks like Father Time.
Wait, now let me get this straight real quick, because this story is gigantic, and of course I didn't know it. What was the move that Vince had to demonstrate for Gronk? Because Gronk was doing it. You think it was just a case of Gronk doing it, you know, halfway in the rehearsal, or was it Vince just trying to show up Gronk, or was it all of the above?
I think so. He was like, you know, because we were already in the pandemic, so it's in like a much smaller room, and he was up on like a, you know, like a riser, maybe like 12, 15 feet off the ground, and he was just supposed to dive onto a bunch of guys, and I think he was like a little trepidatious about like jumping off of this thing, and And so Vince was like, look out, like, I'll just show you. It's no big deal. I'll do it myself. And it's not nearly as bad as I'm portraying it. I don't think anyone was like, oh, Gronk is not a tough guy or something for not doing it. But it's a little, I mean, you don't need some grandpa jumping off of something just to show you can do it.
I have so many questions for you, man. I got to talk to, I mean, both of you guys. I feel so blessed that we have this time and with all the good people in the chat. But Vince, I just want to ask you like about WWE. Like, I want to ask you straight up, like, what their next scandal will be. I mean, like, do you think Vince one of these days is going to like show up and try to show Gronk a move or two and just, injure himself, or, what's going on in the WWE?
It'll probably turn out that Vince helped chop up a news reporter in Saudi Arabia. I mean, they're so wrapped up in so much horrible stuff. They're a company that made more money than almost anybody else during the pandemic and laid off hundreds of people. And I mean, it's no good. And the show's no good lately. It's just, we don't need to turn Sportsboyz into WrestleBoys, but trust me when I tell you that WWE is not a cool spot. It's not a cool spot.
What's going on in AEW? Or go ahead. Sorry. All right.
I think, like here, I'm making it official. Right now, we're WrestleBoys. Okay, WrestleBoys. Yeah, let's
the
get.
Rumble just happened.
I want to talk to you about this, and so I feel like now is a good time for us to get into WrestleBoys. AEW is tonight, right?
AEW is happening. Well, it's about halfway through for the East Coast.
And
so
how are you feeling about AEW? It's young.
I love AEW.
I love
it. It's fresh. It's not even 3 years old. I think they just turned the TV show just turned a year old in October.
Wow.
But it's just like everything, all the storylines are thought out. They make young guys, they make new stars. And it's a much better wrestling show. And it just feels fresh because no matter what you watch from WWE, whether it's NXT or SmackDown or Raw, they all feel the same and it's the same tropes. If someone's doing an interview, they're going to get interrupted. It always looks the same. It always feels the same. And so it's nice to just have not only something that's fresh, but something that also is like, oh, this is how wrestling is supposed to work. Like, it's just supposed to be fun. They don't need to wink at you and remind you that it's stupid and that you're watching something that's not real. And just make new stars and have it be creative and different.
Very cool.
Would be my take.
What's your favorite event that they do? What's your favorite like pay-per-view for AEW?
Well, so I was actually just talking to somebody. I have never been to an actual AEW show. They did some shows before AEW launched. There was All In, Double or Nothing, and All Out, and me and McCarthy went to all of those shows.
It was
okay.
It was brutal.
Brutally good or brutally bad?
No, brutally good. Like brutal, like violent. Okay. Like it was like.
Oh yeah.
There's that ladder match where it ended with who was it? It was the two dudes were punching each other in the face on the top of the ladder, like hit for hit for like. It was like, hey, let's watch some CTE. Like, that's what this is.
let's be careful with the CTE. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, like all because they build a match, and when it finally comes to be, you're like, oh, you can go back. There's actually a story being told, and you're like, this little thing happened that you weren't sure why, and then it began this and this and this. Where it's like in WWE, nothing makes sense, and they don't give a shit, So I just like that AEW at least is trying to tell you a story, and a lot of times you can look back and figure out like, oh, I actually watched a story unfold,
Yeah. WWE for a while felt like an abusive relationship where it was like you're going to watch this. Like, we know you're going to watch this no matter what we do. Like, it's like daring you to like, it's like an abusive relationship, and like, no one else will love you. No one else will love you like Vince McMahon loves you. I'd like to see you try and go to some other place to watch wrestling. And now people
Well,
have
but
that
that-
option.
Well, that's the thing, though, is like they have so many revenue streams that they don't even need. Like, they'll need the ratings come next TV deal, but they already signed the big TV deal. They just switched the network over to Peacock for like $1 billion. That's I actually mean to say billion. And so they have all these revenue streams, so they don't care. Like, so what if the rating is down this week? You know, so it's like, and even before the pandemic, all the house show numbers, live attendance, but it doesn't matter because they're still making more money than they ever have because of all the other streams that they have. So it's like you say, it's like the Detroit Lions. Lions suck forever. They always sell out the game. Why change anything? Why do anything different?
Yeah.
Keep the Lions bad.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
just kidding.
Well,
we
What-
like
how-
Detroit.
How do you think this is going to play out? Like with WWE just being like kind of shitty, but like making tons of money, and
Dude, they're all gonna
AEW.
storm the Capitol, bro. They're doing WWE meets AEW, and first they're gonna battle, and then they're gonna fucking storm the not the main Capitol, the one in Connecticut.
That- storm the
Titan Tower.
Capitol is-
AEW and Linda, they're gonna work Linda, Vince McMahon's wife, into the storyline, and they're all gonna
Storm the
the
Capitol
Connecticut
is a great
Town
name
Hall.
for a pay-per-view.
Well, now that Linda's no
March,
longer in Trump's
Storm the Capitol.
she's looking for something to do. It's time to get her back on TV.
That's amazing. I think it's
so
a
would
great
you-
idea.
What'd you think of Royal Rumble? That was this Sunday.
I thought it was a good show. Yeah, it's fine.
Edge won, right? He came in
yeah.
first, and
There was only, and here's the thing: you're talking about Gronk being 27 and on his way out. There were only like 2 people under 30 in that entire men's rumble. Like, it's just they're not doing anything with young guys or new
All
guys.
right, yeah, because two things, Vince, real quick. One was Edge won the Royal Rumble, I guess, last in 2010. And I feel like, it feels so long ago, but, you know, him and Christian right back in the mix in the conversation. I was reading about one guy that they debuted who sounded like he's been around maybe a little bit. He was maybe in, I think Ring of Honor. And his name was Punishment Martinez.
Yeah, and now his name's Damian Priest. That's his WWE name. Yeah. Too much.
No, I dig it. I haven't seen it, but they need to bring more new people along. I like that they got Punishment Martinez, Damian Priest in the mix.
At least he's fresh. I mean, you know, yeah, he's not the youngest guy, but at least he hasn't been on the TV forever. But I don't know what the answer is, man. You can watch whatever you want, but WWE just doesn't do it for me lately that much. You know, there's some bright spots. Roman's doing the best he's ever done as a heel. Finally, they finally turned him, and that's good.
I feel like they've been trying to like push him as a face character forever. For
Oh yeah,
the
they were
6
doing
years.
they were doing the thing they did with Rock where they were trying to stuff him down your throat, but with Rock they finally flipped him, and then it went huge, and they finally switched him when he came back this last time because he didn't do a lot of the COVID shows because he had leukemia, so he was worried about his health and being immune compromised. So, but when he came back and they turned him and put him with Heyman, man, he's doing his best stuff he's ever done by far.
Oh, that's cool. What? So how would you what is the trend in WWE right now? Like as far as what was it? The like late 90s was like the early 2000s was like the Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
there
it
isn't
just
one. There's
bringing back old wrestlers? Is that the like we're in the reboot phase of wrestling of WWE?
Well, I think we're in the phase of Vince McMahon thinks that there are only certain guys who are over or can draw, and those guys are people who did it in the past. So it's got to be Goldberg, it's got to be Lesnar, it's Edge, you know, Orton has been around, but you know, Orton is going to get 10 more chances. Like it's just that. But the trend in WWE is every male wrestler has the same strip of hair down the middle of their head, and then the sides are shaved. That's the main trend.
And that
nice.
ain't never gonna change. Who's got the best wig in WWE right now? Who's got the best wig? Is it
the
Roman
most
Reigns?
luscious.
Let's talk about guy by
Dude.
guy. Like Roman Reigns. What I mean, that's
Luscious
fake, right?
Deej. Luscious Deej. No, the man's not no plugs. That's a young man with a healthy head of hair. That's a Samoan.
Well, how much fake hair does Edge have these days? I haven't gotten a good look.
Did you see Money Plane?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh.
Is it good, dude? I got to see that movie.
Wait,
Him
Money
and
Plane?
Kelsey Grammer, dude, in an action thriller where
I'm gonna
Kelsey
start
Grammer
watching it right now. I'm gonna
has a
watch it
plane
now.
where you can
Money-
bet on anything that you want, and it flies around, and Edge is on a team of people who are trying to like rob the plane. It's incredible. It's
Nate,
incredible.
Nate, if you're watching, put that on your trailer show. My brother does a trailer show.
Yeah. Throw on the
we
Money
watch-
Plane.
Throw the Money Plane. That sounds like he just threw two words together.
Well, you'll
It
feel that
also
way when you
sounds
see the
like-
movie too.
It also was a ripoff of Money Train. Is it the sequel to Money Train? Wesley Snipes and
yes.
Woody Harrelson back together.
Money
again.
Train is like an Oscar caliber film compared to Money Plane. But what I didn't realize until I watched it myself was that it was written by one of Joey Lawrence's younger brothers,
No.
and so
Oh,
all the Lawrence brothers are in it.
no
Oh.
way.
Yeah.
Is
Wait,
Joey in it?
Joey is in it.
Whoa!
Yes, exactly.
Whoa!
Exactly.
Dude, has he blossomed any fake hair of his own? Because he was cue ball for a minute and it got weird. Like his fans went kind of nuts like 5 years ago when he came out shaved.
Oh,
so I think
yeah.
he blossomed a wig or two, maybe. I don't know what he
Well,
looks like nowadays.
What he did was go ahead,
I
Sam.
watched
Sorry.
him in Big Brother.
We all want
He
to talk
was
at the same time.
He was on a season of Celebrity Big Brother. That's all I want to say, and I watched it. He's a weirdo, but like in that kind of like American Psycho, like good things. I'm all positive energy all the time, guys. That's me, huh?
Oh no! And then he goes home and he's like giving himself the vax.
Yeah.
He's vaxing.
He
addicted
walks
to
out
the
of Starbucks and it's oat milk instead of almond milk, and he just goes into a fiery rage. But these days he looks like the old Play-Doh hair set before you push the Play-Doh through. It's just like he had a bunch of dots drawn on his head. It's like I'm shaved, but I have hair here. Don't worry about it.
That's a little bit like Garth Brooks at the inauguration.
All right.
Oh, I didn't see him.
Chat's getting unruly.
Guys,
Chat's getting unruly right now and wants to take calls. If you want to call in, you can follow. If you go into our about, go into the Discord and sit in the waiting room in the voice chat. And remember, turn off your video when you come on. Okay. The guy on the left is Vince Averill. And you should care because he's awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
If you want to talk about hair at all, we're open to talk about
Hey,
different hair
listen,
days.
I have a movie note. We were talking about
Okay.
Money Plane,
We'll
starring
take this movie
WWE.
note,
Real
and
quick.
then I'll bring in a caller.
Real quick, Sam. Today the Golden Globe nominees came out, and your favorite movie was snubbed. No nominations. Of course, I'm talking about The Way Back, starring Ben Affleck.
Snubbed. It was the only
No
worthwhile movie
acting awards
out
for
this
Ben
year.
Affleck in The Way Back, even though I know that was your favorite movie.
Did any writing or directing awards? Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
Shut out, bro.
No.
Your movie got shut out, bro.
Well, what did
But
they
his web
nominate?
series
Was it
about
Bad
having
Boys?
Dunkin' Donuts and picking up his mail is going huge.
Yeah, why is he always getting
That got
photographed
12.
picking up Dunkin' Donuts? What is up with that?
Greg, you should know as well as anyone that he is from Boston, so he's gonna get pictured because he probably goes to Dunkin' Donuts like 5 times a day. One of those times they're gonna take a picture. You know,
The exact time he's picking up all his mail.
the odds are.
When he goes
Dude,
down for the
he's
package.
going hard on Dunkin' Donuts, man.
Who got nominated?
Does he live in Boston? Yo, Vince, last time we did the show, Sam told me that he loves The Way Back with Ben Affleck and that he was in line to vote. And Casey Affleck walks up and was like, bro, Red Sox, is this the line to vote? And Sam was like, yeah.
He was like, how
Only
long
if
you
you're
been
not
in line
canceled,
for?
dude.
Yeah. Don't crawl into bed naked with me, asshole.
Huge.
So huge. So that's the
All right,
Affleck update.
We're going to take a caller. Hold
Oh,
on.
great. This is great.
Call
Shout out
us.
to all the people in the chat. I'm Greg, too, by the way. And Sam, you know what? I really thank you for having this conversation. It's good to talk to your fans, but it's also good to talk to you, too. This is fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time.
Big time.
Oh,
Oh, wait. Let me just uncheck. All right, perfect. Hey, caller, you're on. Welcome to Sports
It's me
Boys.
again.
Hello?
It's me.
Oh, hey, turn your video off.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry,
caller
can you
Sam.
hear me?
I remember. Yeah. It
It's
messes
me
up-
again.
It messes up the windows. How's it going, man?
good. How's it going with you?
Good. Do you have a sports question this time, or is this?
I did look at wrestling actually. Like I said, it's kind of weird. It's like like I said, I'm not much of a wrestler, but I have. This is kind of another odd question. Like, I know that a lot of wrestlers have been in films because I'm kind of a film nut.
Yeah.
So, there have been some pretty. I mean, do you think actually wrestlers actually do work in some films? Actually, like because there actually have some good ones.
I'll say this.
I just want to say real quick. In theaters before the pandemic, I saw No Holds Barred, and everything about it works.
No
Go
Holds
on.
Barred. Let me see.
Yeah.
It's from 1989, I think.
Hogan.
Mhm.
Rip him.
Oh, Hulk Hogan.
Right.
Oh, that was before. They Hulk Hogan got like screwed over by like a whole bunch of comedy films.
Well, Suburban Commando also kind of works.
Okay.
I will say the movie The Wrestler by Darren Aronofsky, that's pretty good. Is it Darren Aronofsky? Yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
movie. And
I
there's
haven't seen that
wrestlers
one.
in that. That works.
Yeah. Actually, Suburban Commando. I did see bits of it, but I will admit, actually, it was kind of funny. I think the best part of it was the drive, like the part where he had to save a little kid and have to like move this car, and like these biker gangs were going like, "You know what we're gonna do? We found an itty bitty little scratch on it. Let me guess. You're gonna pound my face in. You're gonna then feed my remains to a warhog. What are you, nuts? This is the 90s. We're gonna sue you."
Too much, dude.
What a '90s joke, huh?
Yeah. And actually,
I would
probably
say- I would say that anytime a wrestler is actually featured with much dialogue, the film is not great. The exception might be, well, even Predator doesn't have a ton of Jesse Ventura, but he does speak.
oh yeah.
Terry Funk in Roadhouse is a very good performance, although brief.
Andre the Giant and the Princess Bride. That was a good one.
Sure. Yes, that
I'll-
might be the only example.
I'll say this: I saw I think it was The Mummy 2.
The Mummy
In-
Returns. Yes.
The Mummy Returns in theaters, where it was one of the first movies that
Sick brag, bro.
Dwayne Johnson was in, and he was
Yeah.
horrible.
He was the Scorpion King, and although he actually was in for like the first few minutes, but then, oh
Yeah.
my God, we had
But-
to mention this. I'm sorry.
He was horrible in it. He was like, it was like, oh, this guy can't really pull this off, and this is a fool's errand. And then I forget what the next movie I saw him in was, like Be Cool or something like that, and you could see he got better.
Yeah.
I really believe that The Rock took some acting classes and took it seriously,
Yeah.
and that's why he is where he is today.
And I'm
I
proud
don't
of him.
consider The Rock.
Maybe but after the little, I keep thinking it might have something to do with the effect in the end of The Mummy Returns, like the horrible effect they did for the Scorpion King was like, oh my god, that probably scared him into going better.
Now I know Greg really enjoys The Miz in The Marine 2. Right?
Dude.
Remember The Miz when he did Marine 2?
Oh.
He was in. Wait, The Marine was a Franco film, I believe, right? James
I thought The
Franco.
Marine was a John Cena.
John
Oh,
Cena.
well,
John
okay,
Cena.
okay. And so,
Yeah.
wait, and The Miz was in Marine too. I haven't seen that one. I got to check that out because I was a big fan of him on MTV's Real World. I think people forget that he was on MTV's Real World.
Oh yeah.
And I'm a Miz file. I'm a big Miz guy.
Yeah. You're a mister. Yeah, and isn't 12 Rounds was another John Cena movie. And I think they made like a sequel to that with John Moxley, didn't they?
They did. I saw that one. That actually had one great scene where he like was pinned down and somehow tased a guy, a dead body, to then shoot its weapon and like kill a third guy. It was something I hadn't seen before, and I thought, oh, I can't believe this movie is actually being innovative.
Oh my god!
But maybe my favorite movie with wrestlers has got to be MacGruber, where they assemble the whole team of wrestlers. Yeah,
that scene is a thing of beauty. That whole sequence.
That movie's great. It's on Netflix right now, or Prime.
What's it? MacGruber? Let me look at it.
Yeah.
And Vince, I know you've gone deep with this. What are some others What are some other favorites of yours? Wrestlers making cameos in movies.
Films to hate. Chaperone, starring Triple H, is a horrible film. There's also like almost an identical movie to that one that's a comedy with him, where he also is somehow like on a school bus. I don't even remember exactly what went down.
Wait, so is it safe to say at this point that John Cena is the next Rock movie star is a failure, or are we still determining that? Because I feel as though 10 years ago,
TBD.
It's still TBD. Okay, I feel 10 years ago there was so much promise to him being like a more jacked Matt Damon, Mark Wahlberg looking guy. And now I don't know. At some point, it seemed like he wanted to like host the Today Show. He was kind of all over the place. I feel like he has fake hair now. He spent the past couple of years germinating some fake hair, allegedly. So that part of his career has come up on him. And he recently got married again. Am I right? So he's kind of all over the place. I bet he'll probably continue to star in movies ad nauseum, and he'll probably host the Today Show as well.
But as a performer, his work in the Amy Schumer movie I thought was very good. Also, when he showed up at the end of the movie where he's the drug dealer with Amy Poehler and
where they have a house party and that movie is so crass. And it's such a crass film.
Is that Baby Mama?
No, I think it's called like House Sister Party.
House Sister Party.
It is. John Glazer's in it.
But I did not see the fire. There was a Firehouse film with him and
that was
and Michael Key.
Playing with Fire.
Playing with Fire.
Yeah, I looked like I'm going to say this. I almost forgot that film existed because I remember seeing like commercials for it and just like then I just forgot about it. Then years later, this guy called Nostalgia Critic, he did a review of it, and I was like, "How's this movie?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that movie." It looked like every generic film of like with the tough guy like babysitting kids, like Kindergarten Cop, The Pacifier, Game Plan.
Did they have a Dalmatian at the Firehouse? Do you recall?
No, they do not. But for some reason they have
a Chihuahua that they like drew spots on.
There you go.
But for some reason they have the Allstate guy.
Oh, all right.
Are you in good hands?
Remember when Will Ferrell basically played Ric Flair in the first season of HBO's Eastbound and Down?
Yes, indeed.
I was going to say earlier, that reminds me of something I was going to say earlier, was they should have Joey Lawrence do a scene with Ric Flair, and then it would be
I'm
Joey
in.
Lawrence going
I'm in.
like, "Whoa," and then Ric Flair going, "Woo, whoa,
Whoa!
woo."
I feel like this is a Super Bowl commercial that has not been made yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got a few days. We got a few days.
Who are we rooting for? Who are we rooting for?
We're not on to that segment yet. We're still talking wrestling.
I'm joking.
Wrestle Boys.
Welcome to Wrestle
Okay.
Boys. That's you. I think you're looking for Football Boys. Another.
Good joke.
We overlooked a huge entry into the wrestling cinema canon, which is They Live. One Mr.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a classic.
Yeah,
'Cause
Malcolm
I'm-
just walked down, too.
That's a film I haven't seen yet, but I'm like the big hard nutcase like I am. I'm planning to get to that movie at some point because it is a very weird. It's like a pretty good movie.
You know what's a really
Roddy
fun
Piper.
a fun wrestling movie is Foxcatcher. That's
Ooh.
fun. It's a light. It's
Light
sort of a
romp.
light romp. It's with
Fun.
the guy from The Office. It's with Michael Scott, and he's like fun.
Yeah.
He's doing his like deadpan comedy thing. No, it's actually it's quite grim. But thank you for calling, everyone.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you, Caller
man.
Sam.
Big time.
Yep, that's
Oh,
gotta be my
damn.
nickname now.
Caller Sam.
Take care, bro.
Take care.
Okay.
WWE Pictures. What was the
Shazam.
last? Well, I guess Vince. I talked about Cena, but Batista is pretty much riven to like a level of Dwayne. I mean, Dwayne is obviously like number one, but Batista has really done a number on Hollywood, huh?
Guardians of the Galaxy, Blade Runner. He did that. Bushwick, was it called?
Oh wow.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Good? Yeah, dude.
didn't see
We
it.
used to live in Bushwick. I wonder if
Dude.
our like street. We used to live near there, and so naturally, when I read the info for the Bushwick movie, I was like picturing me and you. I was like, this is about us,
Yeah.
Sam, the three of us, because I think the movie's about trying to get from Borum over to Sam's place on Manhattan and Grand, but it's like 1 a.m. and like
Yeah.
it's like a mile and a half, and none of the bodegas are open, so it's kind of sketch.
So hungry,
That
so thirsty.
That was a dark walk. There was like not much street lighting for that walk.
I remember one time being on when I lived on Siegel, which was like a street below Borum, and like watching the news before work, and there's a lady on the street doing a story about how much dog shit is just laying on the sidewalks in this area, and I realized she's like right over on Manhattan, like right around the corner.
my
She's like, can people just pick up the? Come on,
Dude.
Note to self, there's some dog shit over there.
yeah. It wasn't just One Piece, Sam. They don't do a story for just one. was an
He was
epidemic, not a
also Batista was also in Stuber
Yes,
with
Yep.
Kumail.
Kumail. Yes.
Yeah, whatever.
I get excited.
Can I
No
tell
comment.
you-
I miss Stuber. I was busy watching Jexy. I missed Stuber. I was watching Jexy with Adam Devine, our finest actor.
Mm-hmm.
Has Adam Devine made a movie with what's his name? Josh Gad yet? I think the two of them should team up. They could be the next like Holmes and Watson or something.
Or,
Yeah, just Gad's turned into a bit of an auteur. I don't think Gad is going to be touching that.
I
you
got
know,
the
'cause
project.
he's-
True.
I've got the perfect project. The Tommy Boy reboot.
Oh yeah.
I
You know-
like it.
Divine.
Did
Gad.
when you said that,
Tommy
did you
Boy.
realize that Josh Gad was at one point writing the Vince McMahon script
No.
for the Vince McMahon biopic? Yeah, he was on that for, I don't know if he still is, but I know that he had written on it at some point.
When is that movie going to come out? Do you think it'll be legitimate or will it end up on like TLC?
Governor
Hard to
H-
say, my man. Hard to say.
Governor HG says no one recognizing Warrior.
I mean,
Oh.
please. We could talk about Warrior all night, man. I mean,
I have
come
heard
on.
Warrior's a great movie. I've never seen
Do
it.
you mean
I
the
heard-
movie
I heard it's
Warrior?
awesome.
I love that movie.
Yeah, with
The-
like Kurt Angle and that, right?
oh yeah, Kurt Angle plays the Russian guy in that.
I haven't seen it. I just know he's in it.
It's good with Tom
I
Hardy
don't even know what we're talking about. I'm on a different call.
Movie boys.
and Nick Nolte.
Movie boys.
Also, Randy Savage is in
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah, exactly.
Cavalcade of Stars.
Okay.
What did you think about Fighting with My Family? And what did you think about? Well, what did you think about Fighting with My Family, Vince? Did you see that one?
Didn't see it, but had a lot of people, wrestling fans and non-wrestling fans, tell me that they thought it was legitimately good.
Legitimately good. Wow.
Yeah. I was at the Raw at Staples when they filmed part of it, though.
I was there too.
Huge.
Yeah.
What?
That was crazy.
Did you stick around?
Like Rock came out. Yeah.
So, have I told you my story about this?
I want to hear it. I want to hear it all.
Really, really quick.
There's a Marine 6. There's 6 Marine movies. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The Rock came out to hype up the crowd because they're getting all the crowd shots for the end of Fighting with My Family. And everyone's like, oh my God, it's The Rock. And I just thought it would be funny to yell ballers. And so the whole time I'm just going, ballers, like at the top of my lungs, I'm going, ballers. And he stopped at a point and goes, some guy's just yelling ballers. And it was, I'm seeing that on my deathbed, guys. I'm telling you.
Major presence felt that day.
Yeah, that was like winning an Oscar. So what'd you think about that show?
I didn't actually see it. But I heard a lot of people thought it was good. But I never.
No, I mean
it.
the Raw that night.
Oh well, so I don't know. Were you there before? Because what happened was we were just sitting there waiting for the show to start, and The Rock's music hit, and he came out just out of nowhere, and so that was kind of crazy. And then I don't remember. Was that the night? Yeah, I don't remember which Raw that was, but I'm sure it was long. I'm sure it felt 6 hours long, if memory serves.
I forget.
Not to be negative,
I got to go backstage during that one because Trevor, his kids' show had some wrestlers on it, and so
nice.
they brought him backstage, and he was just like, "Hey, want to go back?" So yeah,
very cool.
Wait. I saw Fighting with My Family, and then I googled the lady's name. Oh, Paige. Paige is supposed to be great. Have you ever met her?
I have not.
I've met I used to write on do some like freelance writing for Swerved, the wrestling prank show. So I know a bunch of guys that like shot that, and they'd have to be on this prank show that like all the wrestlers hated. Like everyone like hated the idea that was happening. And
that show is huge though. Isn't that the Punks where all the wrestlers like play terrible pranks on each other? Yeah, I've seen that show, and like they're not happy. Like you're like trying to get like Big Show to like you're like, oh, Big Show, like that fan was just an actor who said he was going to murder your family, and Big Show is like, good one, Kofi.
Look no further though to when Vince McMahon in a full outfit is like trying to bring some boxes through security. Ooh. Where he's in kind of like a fat suit, and he's like trying to carry some boxes through like a metal detector. It's a run don't walk.
Ooh, that's like the Boss. What's the Boss reality show where it's like
Undercover Boss?
Undercover Boss, and it's like Vince, and he's like, ugh!
Exactly.
Shit, man. Well, anyway, Sam, you were saying, I don't know.
But apparently the guys on that crew hung out with Paige, and they said she like went out of their way to be like, hey, where are you guys going? Like what bar? Like let's hang out. Let's like have drinks and stuff. And a very nice person.
Right on.
Well, she had one of the biggest scandals in the history of the business, I feel like. At least in modern biz. Vince, I want to talk about
that was the biggest scandal in modern business.
Bro, it ran so deep, bro. I mean, I don't even want to get into it because I don't want to put disrespect on the names of the people involved. But I kind of want to talk about the scandals. Like, I feel like there's so many scandals, both high profile and low profile. I mean, if you watch the Vice show about wrestling, they handle a lot of, sordid crimes in the business that aren't often talked about. I think the number one scandal of all time in wrestling, of which there are like hundreds, is probably the Benoit murders.
Yeah,
but
that's what I was going to say. I mean, a sex tape is like below the Benoit murders.
I think it's like 1B though.
It's 1B. Yeah, I would say since the Benoit murders like almost like tanked wrestling. Like it was very bad. It was very, very bad. But that Dark Side of the Ring show, which is coming back, is awesome. All those episodes are great.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, like, there's just guys, it breaks your hearts. Like the Von Erichs episode, those guys break my heart. Like they're so legendary and they're so tough and strong and iconic and like masterful at performing and feats of strength and all that. But then their personal lives are just, it's a fucking grease fire. And I don't mean that like in any, like, I'm not, it's just wrestling is a fascinating business with fascinating people.
Sure. I mean, a family where, all but one brother died mostly by their own hand, you wouldn't call it a grease fire, but it is obviously a very, very sad story.
It was pretty chill, but I mean, so Vince, I just want to say 12 years ago, Vince would go to a store where they had new WWE. They would release the new DVDs. Sorry, it's not even that. Anyway, we watched all these great DVDs is what I'm trying to say with me and Vince. We watched the Mr. Perfect 90-minute documentary about his
Your
life,
guy, Wade
man.
Boggs?
Wade Boggs, the famous, of course, Major Leaguer, Hall of Famer, was best friends with Mr. Perfect. And I mean, there's 20 stories we could talk about Wade Boggs, but one of them is he's best friends with Mr. Perfect. And they went hunting together, and Boggs almost died, and Mr. Perfect carried him like 30 miles to save him.
What? He was like, Boggs was trying to climb over like a fence, and he cut that artery right there in your crotch and was bleeding profusely, and Perfect just had to, tourniquet and sling him up on his shoulder and carry him back to wherever the camp was or the car or whatever.
Dude's
I don't know about 30 miles, but it was a long ways. Yeah.
It was at least 30 miles.
There's those promos that he used to cut where he's like in like Fenway and he's like, I'm Mr. Perfect, and he like throws the ball up, cracks a home run, and goes, I'm perfect in every way.
Yeah. And the thing is, when you have that many Miller Lights in you, the blood flows so much easier and quicker too. So Boggs' blood's got to be thinned out.
Wait, let's take my brother's
So
in
crazy.
the chat right now, so I'm gonna bring him in, see what he has to say.
Shout out to all the people in the chat, just the wonderful fans of Sportsboyz. It's so good to be with you guys and to be with all the people in the chat. Awesome.
What's up, Nate?
It looks like he's muted, maybe?
Oh wait, he just unmuted. Nate, you there?
It's me.
It's my brother. What's
It's
up,
me.
Nate?
Hello.
It's me. Hello. How are you guys?
Where are you calling from?
The computer.
It's calling from inside the computer.
He's in Boston.
I was saying I did see that wrestling movie with the family, and I was saying I Googled her to see what she looked like, and then all the stuff that came up was like nude stuff, and I was like, holy shit. And it's like I wasn't even trying, just swish.
It was a big scandal. That's what I'm saying. Her SEO is blowing up with the scandal. It was interesting because it juxtaposed to the time she was making that movie, I feel like. And didn't she leave the company? And I don't know. Whatever.
She broke her neck. I looked it up.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys about wrestling, though. So I've been a wrestling fan now for a little over a year.
Your
But I've
fandom
only
pretty much tracks COVID, right?
a little bit before, but yeah, pretty close. I only know AEW, right? I only know AEW, and Sam told me about it, and I thought it was cool. So I watch AEW with some friends, and we also watch like the pay-per-views of WWE, and WWE to me seems like garbage. It seems just real awful. And every time they try and defend it, they're always talking about these matches from years, like, you know, they have like encyclopedic like knowledge of all these matches. And I'm like, yeah, but it sucks now. Defend WWE.
Is that a question? Is that I didn't hear a question.
Are you saying you would like us to defend the current product that WWE puts out?
Yes.
Oh, well, there really is none. If you are a lifelong fan, or if you've been a fan of wrestling forever, you probably watch a little bit out of obligation, and like myself will, you know, like right now on SmackDown there are a couple things like Roman Reigns that are interesting to me or are being done well, and so I will seek those things out, but I rarely, if ever, will sit through 3 hours of Raw. It's just nonsense. It's trash.
That Roman Reigns is the guy, and his big move is a Superman punch.
That is Roman Reigns. Yeah.
That's trash.
What is the Superman punch?
That's trash. The Superman punch is a trash move.
Well, subjective art
it,
form. I mean,
right?
what? I mean, there might be a couple.
He cocks his arm like it's a gun.
There might be a couple of moves on AEW we could pick apart as well, but I think it's
definitely.
subjective art.
What?
And
You do all the crazy flip stuff, and you know, there's like a lot of blood in AEW.
I would say the character work that Roman's doing right now as a heel is very good. Whether his moveset is great or not is up for debate. He's not like a, you know, world-class worker or anything. But I can't defend WWE to you because it's pretty indefensible at this time. But if you like AEW, there would be a value to paying $10 to look at the WWE network, because there is so much old stuff that's not even from WWE that is like AEW, in as much as there are cool characters who are actually telling a story beginning, middle, end, and you're not being insulted. You know, your intelligence isn't being insulted. But
yeah, I have a lot of wrestling homework to do. What do you think of Sting coming back as a guy?
Well, I don't inherently dislike it, especially because he didn't immediately wrestle. Now it seems like he maybe is going to wrestle now. And so like if Sting wrestles in a tag match once a year or every 18 months, then I'm fine with it, and he can come out and cut promos and do whatever. I don't really have an issue because he still elevates other guys, but it's like, it's not like we're WWE. If they bring back Sting or Goldberg, whoever, they're immediately wrestling their top guys now, you know, and it's like, why is this old man competitive with the current guy, you know? But
that also reminds me, I have an issue, and I get shit on from my friends, is the wrestling names. Like I like the cool wrestling names, but now all these top guys on like WWE are like, they just have like dudes' names.
No, it's because they have to own everyone's IP, right? So it's like, as soon as you come in, even if you had a cool name, they're like, nope, we're not going to let you use it. So let's just put your name in generator and we'll call you fucking Dirk Maverick or whatever the fuck comes out. I'm sorry, I keep saying the F word. Sam, you told me not to say the F word. I apologize. I won't do it again, I swear.
No. I told you not to say a hard F word.
A hard F word's a different F word.
Well, I probably don't even know what that one is then. So
the hateful one.
No, I don't. Who do you think you're talking to, Sam? I'm not a hateful dude.
No. Yeah, I know. I didn't think you would. I was just letting you. Like, is there anything we can't say? And I was.
Vince goes. I mean, this is a little inside baseball, but this is Sportsboyz, so occasionally we do talk about inside baseball. Vince was like, "Can I swear on this?" And Sam said, "Just don't get our channel canceled."
Yeah,
like as if Vince was gonna be like as if Vince was gonna be like, "Hey, good to talk to you guys." Well, anyway, here are the top 20 reasons why me and my friends stormed the Capitol. No, I don't know what Vince would say to get us canceled, but that was cool.
He's like, George Carlin's 7 words you can't say on television.
And it's like,
I'm gonna do Vince April's 3 words you really can't say on television.
no.
The thing about the Me Too, no way. Well, I would say, listen, man, stand up for yourself. If your friends are trying to shit on you for anything that you like in wrestling, you just need to.
No,
tell them
I just
straight up.
they haven't
Need
defended
better
it. So
friends.
I was trying to come to you for professional advice to say what are the redeeming qualities, but you're still also saying all the old stuff is cool.
Yeah, but ultimately, I will say if you watch some of SmackDown and you get a match where it's like Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro, or you get some of the like Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens, like if you can just watch the match, you're going to enjoy the match. It's going to be a good match, but that's about it.
I'll check it out.
Okay.
But I do like cool wrestling names like Sting.
Yeah.
Jeff Smith is not like the best. Like these are not cool wrestling names.
Dean was always the toughest guy when I was growing up. It was like, yo, don't mess with Dean. Just kidding.
I wish Sting came back as like blonde flat top Sting. That's my whole thing. Not the crow Sting. Like, I think that would be sick to see an old guy with like the who's the football player that had the same style? The college football
Bosworth.
player? Yeah,
Bosworth.
That Boz style that he had.
Well, I'll let Greg break down that wig, but I don't think it could sustain a flat top of that caliber at this point.
I think maybe one of the goofiest. Dude, I mean, like, your name is going to be only as good as you are. Like, I don't think anyone would have seen Ricky the Steamboat becoming what he was going to be. Like, that's like not the most. Ricky the Steamboat to me is like not
Greg.
the
It's
best.
Ricky
name.
the Dragon. Ricky the Dragon
Oh,
Steamboat.
right. I don't like also the 1-2-3 Kid. Like, he like came through one match and they were like, oh, he's terrible. Like, he's going to get so buried. This is in the 80s. And he pinned, I don't know, Flair or Hogan, somebody in 3
It was
seconds.
definitely in the 90s, and it was definitely against Razor Ramon. But it was a nickname. They called him 1-2-3 Kid because he rolled up Razor Ramon. It was out of nowhere. It was unprecedented, Greg.
Wait, so what did he become? X-Pac?
Well, so then he left and went to WCW, and he was 6. And then he came back, and he was X-Pac. Yeah.
He was
Those are cool
6. Okay,
names.
so
Those are all cool names.
you like all 3? Okay, all right, that's fair. Yeah, he was 1-2-3 Kid,
Dude.
6, X-Pac. And also, we saw X-Pac. I saw him the last time we were allowed to leave the house. We saw him in New York City, I feel like. Right, Vince?
Nice. Yes. And his shirt in WCW, his NWO shirt, was the best. It had the 6 ball on the back. The like pool ball, the green 6 ball, 6. Forget it. It was awesome.
All right, that's cool. I'm talking names.
So, question: Who Vince? Who's your favorite current wrestler? Who's
Eddie Kingston.
Eddie Kingston and
Eddie Kingston on AEW, best on the
On
stick.
AEW.
Eddie Kingston's like a guy you went to high school with.
He'd kick your ass though.
He like sold you dirt weed in high school.
a lot of
But he
people
would
I
kick
went to
your
high
ass.
school with would kick my ass. So
He's like, tell your sister I said hi.
And you ain't gonna say
Also,
nothing
here's-
back about it.
Here's what I like about Eddie Kingston and some of the guys in AEW is they don't look like wrestlers. Like all the guys in WWE kind of look like He-Man figures. Eddie
Right.
Kingston has pretty much my body,
Yeah.
and he's a professional
Well, see,
wrestler.
Well, right. But see, I think that's another reason why you need to go back. And I'm not even saying necessarily old WWE, but like if you go back and you watch World Class or you watch Mid Atlantic or stuff where they're just different bodies, right? But you know all those guys would probably beat you up, but they're not
Totally.
all like jacked and muscle heads, you know?
there's
Maybe just watch every WrestleMania. I mean, YouTube has a lot of WrestleMania
Start
stuff.
from one.
So start from one, and then I mean, yeah,
Thanks for the advice, fellas.
yeah.
All right,
You
thanks,
wanna
caller
do
Nate.
is leave
Yeah.
right
I
now.
don't want to eat up all the
Watch every
time. There's a lot of
WrestleMania.
people. I don't want to take, there's like people are upset. The nepotism with the skipping.
Oh yeah.
What?
All right. Yeah, I
Yep.
skip people because
Listen, what you want to do Nate,
Nice
go
to
watch
meet
all
both of
those
you guys.
WrestleMania.
Okay.
What? I miss you, Nate.
I miss you, bud.
Dude,
Hey,
I've been in my
remember what-
house since March. Oh, did he go?
I kicked him off.
Whoa,
Boys,
that was
boys,
a hard. You were like, boom.
Yeah. I hit the
I
hang up
legit-
button.
I need to feed my dog and take a leak. I'll be back in 3 minutes, and that's a
He's
promise.
coming back.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Oh,
All right, cool.
that is
Let
huge.
me do some thank yous.
huge.
Thank you to JHab72 for subbing with 5 months with Prime. That's sick. Thank you for Dr. Tryptamine. Subbed 5 months, tier 1, Prime. Love WKUK. You guys are my favorite. Thank you for the content and laughs. 10 plus years of solid work. Love y'all. Sudden to say love. It's a strong word, and I feel awkward.
You love me. You love
Principal
me.
Rolls subbed for 5 months. Everyone's going off for 5 months. Wow. With Prime. Hood Be Down. Hey, what's up, Hood Be Down? I feel like you catch the show all the time. Subbed 5 months, tier 2. Darren is a Newsboys for life. Okay. Fat Friar Funk subbed for 2 months at tier 1. Woo! Woo, 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 woo. Raging Polly subbed for 3 months at tier 1. Hello, Sportsboyz. And that's it. Congrats on getting 5 months sober, the mighty Ginger 4. You called in last time. I remember that. Where was the mighty Ginger from?
5 months
Pittsburgh,
sober.
right?
Huge.
The mighty Ginger. I think he was from Pittsburgh. He called in last time.
Yeah.
We had
Yep,
talked
I
about
remember.
the Steelers and the future value of Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah.
4 months sober. That's huge. That's
Huge.
bigger than anything going on in Pittsburgh. That's bigger than Primanti Brothers. Yo, Pittsburgh's awesome. I got to move. I got to leave New York, but I can't right now because the Brooklyn Nets are the best team in the NBA. So I can't leave Brooklyn right now. We got Kyrie Irving, Kevin Garnett, and James Harden. I can't leave Brooklyn.
All right, I'm gonna take a caller, and
I'll allow it.
if they want to talk to Vince, we'll just have to hold on. Hey, Governor. Good day, Governor. You're on Sportsboyz. You're going live. Oh, no. Governor jumped out.
We lost them.
Let me
Shout out to everyone in the chat. Go ahead, sorry.
I think maybe that was I'm gonna put him back in, see if it was an accident. If he jumps out again, then Governor, are you there, or you want to jump out? I think he wants it, or she.
Did they fall asleep?
I'm back.
Vince is back. Shout out to Wheel of Money is 2 days sober. That's pretty huge as well. Everyone's doing great things in the chat.
Huge.
Governor, what's up?
Yo.
What's your name? Where you
Oh,
calling
yo.
from?
Oh,
What's up, guys?
what's up? Sorry to put you on
Hey,
the
what's
spot. Like
happening?
that.
What's happening, fuck?
Welcome to Sportsboyz.
Oh, you're good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Thank
We're
you,
talking
Sam.
sports.
Thank you, Sam. How are you guys doing?
We're doing
Dude.
good.
Sports. So, I've been listening. Everything is beautiful. I want to say, respect your opinions about the film. I do want to mention that I did build a ski ramp in my front yard. It snowed like 30 feet here on the East Coast. It was pretty badass.
You built a mini ramp and it snowed 30 feet?
Dude, no, it snowed more like about a foot, and I built a ski ramp on my farm and
Oh, nice.
did a couple jumps and fucked my leg up. But I worked as a ski instructor at like a Vail Resorts. They cover like Australia, U.S., Canada ski snowboarding resorts. I worked there, and
Sick.
I worked as a medic in air. And I want to tell like one story about a dude who plowed through. He's a
Oh, are you there? You have me primed for the
yeah. Hey,
Governor. What can we call you, Governor?
you can call me E or G.
E.
I'm going to call you
E.
Mr. Plow
Yeah.
because you were saying that somebody plowed somebody.
Plowed through.
Go ahead.
Where are you
We
calling
can
from again?
plow. We can get into plowing. Oh, Maryland. We're,
Maryland. Cool.
we're out here.
Maryland.
But so this dude rips both his ACLs in half. He's a ski instructor. He has one ski on, and he's like skimming this pond, a frozen pond, and we're all watching this happen. And he finally loses his other ski, and obviously needs airlifted right away, to the closest hospital for emergency surgery. But just being a part of that ride, being under like a mentor, a mentee to him, and then like experiencing something, that could be that fatal, and to see him up to this day back on his feet, like
Wow.
still instructing is very encouraging.
He's still skiing?
So I just want to put that little note out there, so
He's still
conditioning. I think
he's-
everybody's got it in themselves. So
He's still skiing?
yeah, man, and he's
Wow.
still instructing. He's still training like 5-year-olds to like people our age.
So wait, what caused
However
the
you wanna call it.
accident?
So he was going too fast. He went. He could have blinked. He went straight through what we call is a guard, like what you would define as a guardrail, into a pit that led into a stream. It's like an offshoot of where ski resorts get the snow and shit. Like, and that doesn't become snow, comes to water, and like comes a stream. It's So he blows through the picket fence, has one ski on, tears both his ACLs, and like fractures 12. There's how many bones are there in your foot? I forget.
There's 84.
84.
Well, he fractures. All right, there we go. Thank you. And he fractures at least 12
Wow.
of these and full recovery. Great guy. He's a Marine. So support that. And then he's still back at it today to tell a story. It's just whack, man, because just having seen it in person and then seeing him airlifted and having learned from him and then seeing him back up again, it's just really inspiring.
Were you there when he
Right
got
on.
back into it?
I actually was last year, but funny story. The company that he works for was bought out by Vail. They weren't owned. Another story from the time, but company related issues. But I was there for sure, witnessing it all. Yeah, but it definitely is reassuring, man.
Yeah. Get back on that horse.
Thanks
right?
for having me, man. I wanted to kind of get that out there.
Yeah.
Right on.
Thanks
man.
for calling, man. Thank you,
Cheers, guys.
Mr. Plow.
I'm plowing all y'all. Let's go to Mars.
Oh. All right.
Damn, GJ's like pre-med, dude. He pulled out the bones in the feet, like.
Wow, I was kidding. I
think
didn't know.
that's-
I don't
that's
know
a
how
high
many bones
estimate.
are in the foot. I was like, I don't know.
I
Oh
think it's a
man,
very high
thought-
estimate.
I was like, yeah, it looks like it's I don't know. Wow.
what's the over/under?
Cut out early. He was like, yeah, my friend got plowed. I was like, Everyone in the chat's really cool, and all these callers are really great, Sam. That guy built a half pipe. I wanted to ask him what tricks he does on his snowboard,
Oh.
Big ups to that guy. Big
Sailfish.
So Sunday's the Super Bowl. You guys got any plans?
Yeah, I'm actually going to a big party here in Brooklyn. There's an abandoned church nearby, and it's like a big hall. There's going to be like 600 or 700 people. You get wasted. There's no masks. No, I don't know. Of course, I'm kidding. I'm going to stay home. I've been home since last March.
No masks allowed.
No masks allowed at my Super Bowl party.
Allowed, yeah. I might try and get. Someone mentioned putting together a stream. I might try and stream during the Super Bowl. Do like a watch party.
Huge.
There
you go.
That'd be fun.
Roger Goodell might have something else to say about that.
Well, no, I mean, I know we're not supposed to describe the games or but I not show the game, but just if people want to watch the game and watch me react to the game, they can watch it.
Okay.
You're going to be like, whoa, what a pass by Bomb Trady.
The chat wants us to show our dicks off. We can't, guys. We would, but we can't.
Oh.
Who do you guys think's gonna
Let the record show. Johnson was going to do it.
Yeah, he's always.
I am brave. I'll do anything for the people in the chat.
Who do you guys think's gonna win?
Well, I think ultimately, real quick, I will be rooting for Tom Brady. But when you look at the two teams on paper, Kansas City, they got Kelsey, and they got that guy they call Cheetah. Those guys are open every single play. Patrick Mahomes is amazing. He's an MVP. I think he was MVP this year, although they're going to give it to Rodgers. And when you watch him play and he's got those receivers like that, I don't think they're just a flash in the pan. I think they're a pretty great team. So Tom Brady's going to have to do a lot to win that game.
Though.
As previously discussed, the Chiefs have lost starting linemen. The Buccaneers are at home in Tampa Bay, which is in Florida, which means the stadium would probably be full or half full, at least 3/4 full. It's the home field advantage. Tom Brady, potentially the GOAT. Some would say he is the GOAT. I'm not ready to say he's the GOAT because I can't, but
what's it going to take?
I got to go Tampa Bay. No, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. maybe if he stops hanging out at Mar-a-Lago, huh? Then I'll call him.
Yeah, seriously. Get him out of here. What is up? How anyone can support Trump, let alone the greatest athlete of our time. Oh, God. That's just a
errand boy. He's an errand boy, and you know it.
He's an errand boy, dude. That's what they called him on TMZ. They used to, on the early days of TMZ, TMZ on TV.
Yeah.
They would catch Tom Brady out and about in like Chelsea or in like the West Village of New York. And they'd be like, Tom, what are you doing? Tom. Yeah. And whereas, 90% of the TMZ celebs they capture seem to want to talk to the paparazzi. They're like, in it to win it. But Tom Brady is just like peace. Like he's not saying anything, This is like 2009.
Beyond that, it's like dude's carrying a dry cleaning bag and they're like, why are you such a pansy doing chores for your wife?
Yeah, they're like, look, guy, and they're all in the TMZ room and they're being shitty. They're like, look at Tom Brady. He's like, he goes and runs errands. Like, what a dick.
He's like leaning over the divider with the huge soda. Yeah, we got a footage of Tom Brady here.
Yeah, they're like, Tom
dude,
Brady
chores
is
for
the
his
worst. I am so much better than Tom Brady. Man, but don't make fun of Harvey Levin because that's Vince's boy. Vince has a photograph with Harvey Levin.
Oh, really?
I will say, yeah, I do. And here's the deal: the Ronald McDonald House in L.A. Harvey Levin, he would roll up with a bus, take everybody to Disneyland. He would pay in full for parties and stuff. He never wanted anyone to know that it was him. He never would put his name on it, but he did do. That doesn't erase all the other shit that he does, but he did do a lot of cool stuff.
For me, it does.
Still does, but he just doesn't.
That does it for me.
Know. Maybe he thinks it'll hurt his image if people find out he's like.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Oh wow, what a legend!
Oh my
Total, absolute legend.
Oh yeah, sweetheart of a guy.
Just fucking Harvey with his big sippy cup, and then the theme song's like do 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 do. It's like the Seinfeld theme song, but it's like TMZ do 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 do.
Yeah.
Tom Brady was. I was talking about this earlier. It's a funny style where there's like it used to be like, like extra and like Entertainment Tonight. It's all like polished and like extra and like ooh it's Hollywood. And then TMZ is all like dirty. They're like, oh my God, it's Tom Brady. He's on the street.
Right.
Like
and they're just like
voiceover.
And when they like catch them at first, they'll lead with like, so Tom, do you prefer a woman to wear open-toed shoes? They'll just come with like some crazy question out of the box. Or like, what's the worst fast food item at Wendy? Like they just come with crazy shit, and then they start making fun of them for whatever they're doing. It's very odd. It's very odd.
I think
it's such a weird show.
I think that's the mystery's the game.
Like to get him to respond, you have to say crazy
stuff. They like
stuff.
neg him and like peacock him with questions.
Like that Tiger Doc.
I love that Tiger Doc. Great. It was so good.
So speaking, how about this segue here? Speaking of Tigers, why don't we talk about a team that's close to your heart? The Lions just had a huge trade.
Oh, yeah, huge trade.
Lions,
I'm happy for Matt Stafford. Let him go try to be good somewhere, because that's the best you can hope for when you're actually a decent player on the Lions, is to go somewhere else. So and he's out here. Him and Kershaw went to the same.
Oh yeah.
Went to the same high school in Texas, right? They're from the same little town. So him and Kershaw will be able to hang and bang out in LA. So good for Stafford. As far as the Lions, I don't think we're doing a whole lot with Goff, but we're getting some draft picks out of it. So hopefully something. But I say all that to say, as a Lions fan, the Lions have been in one playoff game or something since I was born. It's perennial awful. And I don't think there's any reason to believe that that's going to change just because they made some trade and got a different coach. It's happened 1,000 times. It doesn't matter until the Fords sell that team and they have a full exorcism of anyone who works there, down to the friggin' water boy. That team can never be able to rise again. I just think they're going to be terrible forever.
There are franchises that. I mean, like that's how the Clippers were.
Goff is pretty good, though.
I mean, shoot, anything is pretty good when you're in Detroit, but it's like there's just no reason to think that anything is going to change. It's unfortunate, but it's the Lions.
Are you gonna pull for the Rams?
I like the Rams. I mean, I don't. Football for me is down the depth chart. I love baseball, hockey. Basketball's in there, so I like football and I watch it, but I don't, because the Lions, they can never hurt me again. I won't allow it, so I kind of keep it at a distance. But I enjoy the Rams.
The new Lions coach is like, he was 7-11 as a Dolphins coach. Like, I don't know why they make that hire, and no one wants to hire the enemy. But I will say this. Jared Goff started a YouTube video where he went to a D3 it's a JUCO team, and he was in disguise, like he wore a wig, and he outplayed everyone. Like he's just like hucking balls, and they're like, "Yo, this guy is amazing," and none of them know it's Jared Goff. And he's just he's selling it too. Like he starts pitting some of the players against each other. He's like, "You got to get open." Like I don't even care. Like. It's a weird video, and he really won me over.
It's a good watch.
Sounds like he needs to host SNL.
Yeah.
Click off on SNL. Staff. But you guys got the pencil back. You got back on the Patriots coaching staff.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Matt
the Lions
Patricia.
have given you back the man. Yeah, Patricia's back. Don't worry about it.
Oh my God. It's so
And you want to talk
brutal.
about, not to shift gears, but I'll just say quickly, as it pertains to hiring the enemy, the Tigers hired the friggin' Astros manager, the cheater. I don't want that cheater managing the Tigers. Forget it.
Wait, I can't believe that. When did that happen?
All right.
As soon as he was legal to play again.
Yeah,
All
it was
let's
like his
let's not
first
move too quickly. I
day.
don't wanna-
It was his
Yeah.
first day out of suspension,
Yeah.
and
They took the anklet off of him, and the Tigers called him.
I mean, here's
Wow,
the thing: is like you're gonna get some value there. You know, you're buying low.
I guess. If you have any
Right.
self-esteem, you won't. If you have a moral compass, you won't. But
I guess you're buying low, yeah, but dude, that's brutal. They should have hired Cecil Fielder
yeah, see now there's a quality hire
or Prince.
or Prince. Yeah.
Wait, where does Prince play? Who knows? We don't know.
Do you
Oh,
think
he
that
doesn't play
someone?
anymore.
Do you think
Okay.
someone that has sat a season out and has like
The Mets should get him.
their name tarnished like that? Do you think they go back into playing baseball and they're like, all right, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna not cheat anymore? Or do you think they go back and go like, all right, what way can I cheat to like not get caught?
Well, the only example I can think of is in football. So Michael Vick came back, and I don't think he was dogfighting anymore, but he definitely probably thought about it.
That's really funny. I mean, obviously, the Patriots have been accused of like 3 things at this point, and Sean Payton may have cheated a couple times with his bounty gate
I'm
in
telling
New
you,
Orleans.
It's, the stakes are too high. It's hard to not when given the opportunity. I think a lot of people have a hard time not taking any advantage that they can.
Yeah, I bet they're
especially
going
true.
into it like I'm gonna make sure that everything's on the up and up, and then they're kind of pushed against the wall and they see the opportunity and they go, I can take this one.
Steroids are pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, you do see a lot of people who get caught using steroids multiple times, and it usually comes in this like ebb and flow kind of way of like they use steroids, they're superhuman, they break records, and then everyone's like, yeah, that guy's definitely using steroids. They get caught for using steroids, they come back, they suck for a while, and they get to this point of like accepting this fact that either they can suck or they can try and get away with using steroids again.
Yeah, I think I'm in the rare group that doesn't care. It's like, if you want to use steroids, go ahead and use steroids. It doesn't really bother me. If as long as everyone can do what they want to do and they all know they can do it and it's going to harm them or whatever, I don't know that it matters to me. I don't think of like Mark McGuire or whatever and think, oh man, what a tarnished legacy.
But the records.
Yeah. I mean, I see it both ways. It just doesn't bother me a whole lot. But
yeah, no. I mean, the game evolved. Like these sports evolve in multiple ways, and maybe that, like, you see like Wilt Chamberlain has all these records for like most points scored in a game. They're these insane records, but everyone accepts that like, oh, that was a different game than the game of basketball we play today. And
but it also bums me out though that it feels like the only reason Kurt Schilling isn't getting votes for the Hall of Fame is because he's a right-wing shithead, which I don't think is right either. Because I don't like the guy, but I don't think that there are people in the Hall of Fame who've done a lot of horrible shit. So it's like weird to me to be like, well, this guy has,
you don't like Kurt Schilling? All right, I'm
just saying.
I'm kicking you off the.
It's a shame. It's a shame that he
can say anything.
His Hall of Fame votes are affected, I guess, but
I think.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I know Vince is saying he doesn't agree with Schilling with what he says, but Vince off camera does really agree with everything Schilling says. But they should have a wing. Okay, it's interesting because you have steroids and you have Schilling seems to be his own example, obviously, because as you say, he's being punished for just the shitty political things that he said. And I mean, some of them are like really hateful things, but maybe they're just going to have to make a wing of the Hall of Fame with like these asterisk guys at some point and have like Bonds and Clemens right there when you're walking in and like just have like 25 guys that like also ran or like
they've already got enough guys for a racist wing, trust. And they've already got enough guys for a spousal abuse wing, done. It's like
right. They're all dirtbags and criminals.
I mean, Pete Rose is a travesty. It's a travesty that guy has
put Pete in the hall.
What he has done, and they're like, oh no, he gambled on games. All right, he's done. He didn't even throw games, right? He just gambled. He got caught gambling on other games.
He contends that he never bet against his team. And there's also that story that Giamatti was going to reinstate him, and then he up and died.
Oh, really?
We'll never know for sure.
Whoa, I didn't know that story. Paul Giamatti's dad.
And Giamatti was going to reinstate him, and then he died. But who knows? I'll have to ask Paul when I see him.
I saw Paul Giamatti in at one time, and I think I deserved an Oscar for not like freaking out and going total Beatlemania on him because I'm a big fan of Paulie G. Paul Giamatti, douche.
Sideways, American Splendor.
Yeah, he's got really good Volkswagen commercials nowadays. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not a big commercials guy.
Noop Doze from the chat says, "Pete's in the Hall sounds like a great sports sketch comedy."
Mm-hmm.
All right.
He cuts his hair with a hatchet.
Pete's in the Hall. Get it? Yeah. I'm going to bring a caller in. This is a buddy of mine. Just saw him in here. Sorry, guys, who I'm cutting in line. I just told him I'd bring him in here before. Hey! Fortnite tonight. Let's wait till he unmutes his thing. Fortnite tonight, what's up?
Hey Sam, it's an honor to be on the flagship show.
Welcome to Sportsboyz. Oh, we don't believe in flagship shows here.
I do.
So you have some questions. You're coming in hot with some questions locked and loaded
I
for the program.
I have a personal story about the Astros cheating scandal.
Oh, really?
In college, I briefly dated this girl that I had been talking to since high school, and it was going really well. And then I left her to go date someone else, and sadly broke her heart. And then 2 months later, that other girl left me. And I tried to crawl back. Hey, remember how good this was?
This
but she had
metaphor.
No. She had moved on to this other guy, and this other guy was the equipment manager for the Astros. This was 2016, I think. No, this would have been 2015 or so. So I just remember when the Astros were playing the Dodgers in the World Series, rooting because she would always Instagram. He would fly with the team, and they would travel with the team, and she would always Instagram herself with the Astros. And I was in LA, and I was rooting so hard for the Dodgers to win because I was mean to this girl. Yeah, I know. What am I, Jesus Christ? It was completely uncalled for, but I was like, please lose, please break this girl's heart again. So, anyways, as we all know, they won. Now, cut to 2 months ago, and I was just reading up on the Astros cheating scandal for no reason, and I saw the Washington Post put a story out naming that an intern had come up with the idea to steal the signs. He had created he created the like algorithm and brought it to the general manager, and they named him, and it was the fucking guy. It was her now fiance. And here's where the story gets really crazy. He went from an intern, he's now a 6-figure executive with the team. So AJ Hinch and all of them, they got fired, and this guy that started it, he's now like the he's like the operations manager. And so he like blackmailed his way to be this executive. I mean, this girl, she made a great choice, you know? I mean, she's a smart girl.
Well, let me back up and say there's no wrong reason to root against the Astros. But I also wonder, did they speak about, was the algorithm like, if it's a strike, we'll hit the trash can once, and if it's a curveball, we'll hit it twice? Like, what is the algorithm involved in stealing signs?
Well, there's obviously like a lot of different stuff they were doing. Yeah, I mean, I'm stupid, so I didn't totally understand how the computer program worked, but there was some kind of computer program that, yeah, I don't know, it contributed, and it was kind of the snowball that started the whole cheating operation. I don't know if he then went, hey guys, I got another great idea, let's start banging trash cans or whatever, but he was named as the person that started the snowball.
Oh,
and
wow.
He's sitting pretty, never got touched.
Yeah, they're doing great. And but I'm on Sportsboyz, so who's the real one?
Yeah, baby! Woo!
Oh, I'm not saying that you should call her up or send her a late night email, like going off, because you broke her heart, and that's not fair. But if you do end up in a situation where you need to rag on this guy, you could say, he cheats at work, he probably cheats at home too.
Okay, this is big for me. This could really turn my love life around, because when I first read the story, I'd had a couple drinks in me. It was 2 a.m. and I was hovering over this text that said, when were you going to tell me your fiance ruined baseball? And I was like, do I send this? Do I not? And I withheld that slight. But that one's a little bit better.
She may not ever come back, man, but it might still feel good.
Don't say that.
Shoot one in. Just shoot one. Just launch one in there. Just for old time's sake.
This one's for you. And it's not going to look good for you.
Wow.
But yeah. Didn't you have a question?
No, I mean, I was going to talk a little bit about basketball, but I think this has been a good contribution to the show, and I should leave before chat turns on me.
Okay.
Hey, man.
Fortnite tonight. Thanks so much for calling in.
Thanks.
First time.
Yeah, great callers. Shout out. That's great
how it's
caller.
done. That is how it's
That's
done.
how it's done.
You
Great
come
job,
in, you
man.
handle your
Great
shit,
job.
and you get out.
Great job, all the people in the chat too, and great job that guy. That was a great story there.
Yeah, that's how you contribute.
Here's another thing I saw from the headlines today. The players, the baseball players union rejected the league's offer of shortening the season, I think, from 162 games to 152 games, but still paying them for 162 games for a later start, which I guess people just, they want to play and they want to get out there. But for me, I think I'm lazy. I'm like, hey, paid vacation, right?
So the Players Association said no to 152 games for the same money?
Yeah, the players all voted to play the same length of a season.
Traditionalists, man. A lot of superstition in baseball. Maybe they're worried about numbers, numerology.
Someone says players have performance options too. Oh, maybe they have to get a certain number of hits to
there you
get
go.
the extra amount of money.
There you go.
Over here in Brooklyn, all attention is focused on nothing but the number one news story in the world. It's the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes.
They got Kevin
Kyrie?
Durant.
What's up with Kyrie?
Kyrie Irving. He scored 39 points last night. He's a wonder to behold. And now they got James Harden, who he adds something interesting to the mix because he's the one guy of the big three with no rings. He has something he might want to prove as long as he's able to play at a high level throughout the playoffs. But, these games don't really matter that much until you get to the playoffs or the Super Bowl. You know what? Like, when I think about baseball, the fact that they're griping, I mean, I get what the labor dispute is, but the fact that they even want to play 152, to me, I think they should cut the regular season down to 52. It shouldn't be 152. It should be 52.
Yeah, a lot of games that don't seem to be consequential happening throughout the season.
No, and it's a lot of COVID because guess what? COVID is still now. I want to say, quick tangent. If you told me back in August and September that they'd get through the NFL season, and I don't even think that they've canceled one game this NFL season. I don't know. It's just insane.
It's postponed games, right? Yeah, they've postponed games.
Yeah, they postponed a few. Yeah. But I just, it was similar with the NBA bubble. I mean, that was in a bubble, but it was still kind of remarkable that they pulled that off with 0 positive tests. I think the NHL as well pulled that off with 0 positive tests. So I think in terms of COVID, I'm amazed that that more people and more college students don't get it. We'll see if they can even do the NCAA tournament because I'm just amazed more athletes almost don't get it. And it's also amazing to me because I haven't really left the house much since March 2020. So I'm just surprised that we've gone 25 weeks of an NFL season and now it's coming to a close because I don't think I've accomplished one thing in the 25 weeks of the NFL season.
When you're sliding into first and you hear something burst, it's COVID, Greg. And listen, the NBA, now that they're not in a bubble, has had plenty of positives, dude. Plenty of positives.
Yeah,
that's true. But I feel they've almost. I mean, I didn't think any of these things would be able to go off. So I'm almost surprised there's not more cases of COVID. But I will say this. As we all know, breaking news tonight. I don't know if people in the chat necessarily know, but I don't think we've touched on it yet in Sportsboyz. This time just flies by. Sportsboyz time. I don't know where it goes. It's wonderful. But we didn't talk about the breaking news, which is that the barber for the Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl Chiefs, their barber who was giving haircuts came down with COVID. He tested positive. He's the Chiefs barber. And as a matter of fact, at the time they told him he had to leave because he tested positive, he was cutting one of the players' hair. Oh, man. I mean, I'm all worked up.
In a season like this, can we not strip the staff down to, as needed as possible? Can you not just let your hair grow or have someone at your house do it? You have to have a barber at the stadium?
Seriously. And how, may I ask, did that dude get COVID and bring it into the Super Bowl bubble? Like, what is up with the NFL? What are they doing?
It seems to me like you got 2 jobs: cutting hair and not getting COVID.
Yeah.
And also, you can wear 6 masks and cut hair. There's no reason to. You should be wearing a spacesuit while you cut hair. What?
Yeah.
Please.
What do you think? So, everyone is going to remember in terms of sports the date. Last March when the NBA canceled. And I think the other biggest COVID story in sports, just in the last 10 months, was when that guy Turner from the Dodgers got COVID in the middle of the game and they won, and then he went out onto the field to celebrate after. Now, no matter what you feel about COVID and no matter what you feel about the LA Dodgers, it presents a sort of dilemma when there are people in the country, and when there are people in the country dying, there are other people in the country who can't be with their loved ones when they're dying. And then you have a millionaire championship guy who gets right back out on the field and he like grabs all the players and he's like giving them noogies. That was quite a news story.
They swept that, dude. Go
They're
ahead,
doing
Sam.
their championship kisses. They have all those lip kisses when you win a championship.
Licking champagne off of each other. It's
heaven.
I bet people got it. I bet some stuff went down subsequently that just got swept because they knew how bad it looked that he was out there in the first place hanging out, you know. But it also sounds like there was a number of Chiefs linemen who were maybe getting their beards trimmed or something. They must have just been leaned back in the chair, no mask on, letting this barber go to work, and now they're going to miss the big game.
That is absolutely insane. I mean, the Chiefs could be in trouble here, man. And, you know, it brings us to the other one. This is kind of 1A. The Turner stuff was crazy. NBA, March Madness, when that got canceled, it obviously marked a moment in time for society. But there was also, right around that time, Gobert. He was touching the mics, you'll recall. He was in the press conference, and COVID had just come about. And he was making a joke by touching all the mics. Now, if you look at that photo, it's not funny because him and a bunch of his teammates, including Donovan Mitchell, who's amazing. I mean, no one should get COVID, but Donovan Mitchell, of all people, like, he's so good at basketball. He shouldn't have to go through that. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is an amazing athlete. And what I'm saying is Gobert messed up because he touched the mics. That was a really big COVID sports story. That's an all-timer, man.
Part of the thing too, though, about these guys, you know, about you being like, oh, they're doing really good at not getting COVID. You're doing really good at not getting COVID, and your apartment is literally the size of this screen that we're looking at you at right now. Like you're behind the camera. There is a wall. There's a wall right off every side, and that's where you sleep. These athletes, they live in malls. They live in the Mall of America. It's like they have these gigantic houses. They can spread out. And,
no snaps.
You know, it's not so hard for them to like stay away from people. Sure, they have to travel, but a lot of times they're traveling on like private jets and stuff. Not like private jets, but the team's airliners.
Yeah, it's very weird. You know, Michael Strahan recently got COVID, and I know he's on TV. He's not an athlete anymore. I'm aware of that, but it's tough now because we've all been inside a year. If you've been able to avoid it so far, now you have the vaccination in sight. And, you know, if you have the motivation of like the Super Bowl or like an NBA season, it seems like you would be able to maybe just stay in your mega mansion and like chill and not get COVID. But I know I'm talking too much, man. I'm being very controversial right now.
Yeah.
This is
This is very controversial, but I wanted to talk about how I'm surprised that the college football season, I mean, I know a lot of those games were canceled. I know a lot of those teams didn't play many games. Ohio State played like 6 games and all that, but it all went off. And those players aren't even paid, obviously. They don't get much from even being on the field other than COVID. And I'm surprised that whole thing went off. And I don't know what's going to happen with the March Madness. I know that Gonzaga and Baylor are the 2 best teams, but I think they might let every single team in this year if they give Mike Krzyzewski his way.
No.
But we'll see what happens. And
Duke sucks this year? Is that the thing?
Yeah, Duke's record is below 500 for the first time in a long time. And it couldn't have happened to a nicer organization. Coach Krzyzewski is a beautiful man. No, I'm just kidding. He seems like a jerk. Oh, the chat's blowing up. Wow. Shout out to everyone in the chat.
Greg, you still rock that Duke lacrosse shirt you used to wear around?
Oh! Now listen, that's a funny story. I mean, it's an interesting, compelling
whoa.
history there. Those players were wrongly accused of crimes they were later acquitted of, and I think ESPN made a documentary about it. That's very fascinating.
Oh,
really?
Okay, I'll take a look.
Yeah, you're gonna want to go watch that right as soon as we get off the air here in 11 minutes.
Okay.
Should we haven't talked about basketball yet. Should we talk about how the basketball season's going?
One word: Brooklyn Nets.
Oh yeah, I guess we have in just talking about Brooklyn.
What about do you guys do any Super Bowl? There's so many prop bets. You can bet on how long the national anthem's going to take, the number of the person who touches the ball. There's just like a lot of weird prop bets.
Yeah, I was looking at those. I mean, I think one area. I mean, first of all, it's great. There's over 200 prop bets. Gambling is better than ever. It's basically legal in America now. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on Twitch, but everyone's gambling, whether it's legal or illegal. And the prop bets are awesome. Now, one area I would look to in terms of these prop bets, and Vince, I would be interested to hear if you have any of these. One area I would look to is, again, this Kansas City offense is going to be hard to stop. And the guy Cheetah and the guy Travis Kelce are always open. And I think Travis Kelce was up for like 7.5 was his over-under catches. I might want to go over on those guys because it seems like Kelce every game catches 10, 11 passes, or Cheetah runs for like 70 yards. Like when he gets open, no one can really tackle him. So I don't know. I think this might be a Kansas City blowout, but Tom Brady could pull it out. Go ahead.
My lock has got to be the money line for the number of Chiefs players who have hair on the neckline because they weren't able to get cleaned up for the game on Sunday. Take the over.
Take the over. Yeah.
On the scruffiness of the Chiefs.
I wonder if that barber is going to, he's like, do I still get to go to the game? They're like, no, bro. You're fired.
Can I still make a Doritos commercial?
Take the over on the number of commercials mention COVID. I think every commercial is going to be some sort of reference to us being a brave country and rebounding.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. The line, when things get back to normal or whatever that line is that like half commercials have now.
I don't think the NFL or the other sports went nearly far enough with their social justice messaging. I mean, it goes without saying maybe, but back in, May and June and July of last year, when, things got really, really out of control, both the NBA and the NFL pledged money and also just pledged airtime to social justice messaging, which I saw almost none of. I mean, I watched a lot of NBA bubble basketball, and I thought that with every single game we were going to get, maybe a PSA about social justice, but that wasn't the case. And same with the NFL. I mean, I don't mean to I'm not trying to nitpick or be weird. They have nothing. The NFL has end racism on the goalposts in 7 font, literally on the NFL goalposts in 7 font, Helvetia 7.
7 point.
It's not even bold. It's it's regular.
Should
it's
we do it
end
in standard 11? And they're like, no, smaller.
Now, what about Budweiser's not doing any ads for the Super Bowl. They're taking that money supposedly and putting it toward COVID vaccines, right?
That's wonderful. I mean, stuff doesn't have to always be in front of my eyes. It's I know that NFL gives a lot of money, NBA gives a lot of money. Those players, obviously give a lot of money too to certain charities. But it's just, I was really shocked that the whole thing with the jerseys, the messages on the back, I just thought they would go beyond that. But whatever. I'm not here to tell these leagues how to protest. Obviously, what do I know? I'm just some jerk alone in
Now
his
hold
house.
on. Now hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No. All right, there's
They're
been
all
some
trying
guy-
to. Go ahead.
Wait, what are you saying? You go.
I was just gonna say it's the leagues. They don't want to upset anybody, so they're like, we'll do as little as we can, so that the other folks who feel differently or who are like, I don't want politics in my football, even though social justice and racism is not a political thing, but you know what I'm saying. So I think they do as little as they can because they don't want to upset anybody. They want everybody's money.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forget about stuff like that. I'm sort of in a bubble because I live in New York City, which is liberal, and I don't even go outside. I only live in my apartment, which is very liberal. Very liberal.
Super left. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't get those other points of view, but to me, yeah. So whatever. I don't know. Who knows?
We've had some callers sitting on the line, so I'm going to bring one in. But
let's get them. Love it and always on time.
We're on. Muster Fuster is on. Let's wait till Muster Fuster takes it off mute.
Muster Fuster.
Oh,
First
Muster
time,
Fuster.
Lost him.
We
lost him.
Everyone has this problem. I'm going to bring him back just
5 minutes left. Shout out to all the people in the chat and the people trying to get on the phone. Let's get to some calls, maybe. Vince, Sam, it's been great talking to you guys.
Oh,
Muster Fuster, you gonna drop out or? Oh yeah, it's Vince. It's been amazing. Greg, it's been okay.
Yeah. What's up now? GJ?
No, this has been a good show. We've
Muster Fuster, where you at? Oh,
dropped out
again. All right. I'm gonna go with fives.
I can't do any prop bets on the Super Bowl because all my football bets lose.
Hate to hear it, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm in a bad way. I bet on the Lakers against the Pistons last week, and the Pistons won outright. That was some game.
Dude, unprecedented.
Yeah, I could bet on the Dream Team against the Cavs, and the Cavs would win by 25 against the Dream Team.
But that's why you got to do the prop bets. You got to do the silly ones. You got to do, like what kind of commercial is the first commercial? Yeah. What do you guys think this year for commercial? Trailer? Top Gun 2 trailer?
Oh, you got to hope.
Yeah, one can dream.
Oh, when's that? That movie was supposed to be out already. That's the thing I'm the most upset about with COVID.
Is movies. I just saw that
too. All right, Fives is on. Fives been waiting patient. Fives, you there?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
What's up?
Yo! What's good? What's your question for Sam Brown?
True story. My best was also named Sam Brown, so that's pretty weird. My question is, who do you think is the better tight end quarterback duo, Travis Kelce or Gronk and Brady?
That's a great question.
Saying right now or historically?
Either way. I would also say follow up. Do you think Darren Waller will be as good as either of them?
Whoa. Great caller. Great question. Listen, Kelce and Mahomes right now are obviously better. I mean, they're unbelievable. Yeah. I think they're probably almost as good as Brady and Gronk were in their prime. However, historically, you look at Brady and Gronk's numbers, they're still the best combo, I mean, maybe ever, receiver to QB. Now, I don't think Mahomes is ever going to really go to 10 Super Bowls or surpass Brady at any point. However, him and Kelce, I guess, if they keep going like this, may surpass Gronk and Brady. Although I don't know. I think I don't know. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Gronk is a lunkhead.
Actually, I have a Gronk story. I met someone who went to high school with him. Says that the guy thinks about two things: football and, sex.
Oh,
Football and sex. Simple guy. Simple minded.
Right to the point.
Right to the point. He thinks about those two things. His brain is always occupied with those two things. And every time
So
I've
he's
seen him,
better than Kelsey.
it's been like, oh yeah, that's definitely true. That's what this guy's occupying himself with.
And then
wasn't there a
Darren
Super
Waller.
Bowl? Well, wasn't there a Super Bowl where after a Patriots win, where Gronk went home with a girl, and then she took a bunch of photos of him while he was sleeping naked, and then he was sort of like, why do I give a shit? Like I don't
I
like.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, like she thought she was going to hold it over him, and he was like, "What? What are you talking about? I don't care."
Yeah, he was like,
I'm Gronk.
wait, get one of me like this. He was like, I think that happened to Julian Edelman and Danny Amendola as well. That's like, yeah, I don't know.
Textbook. Waller, I think Waller is going to be very good, but we're talking about some killer combinations here.
You don't think Derek Carr's is good a quarter? Well, I guess he really isn't. I can't even
No,
finish that
he's not.
sentence.
Yeah.
No offense, Derek Carr. But Waller is
Carr-
pretty good.
Is Derek
Yeah.
Carr still in the chat?
It's hard being a Oakland Raiders fan, man. Vegas Raiders fan,
Vegas,
rather.
yes,
Excuse me, but maybe they'll go back to the Super Bowl. I think Gruden's got it, man. Gruden's gonna take them to the promised land,
Figured it
bro.
out.
I'm actually a Cincinnati Bengals fan, so I'm even worse
Oh,
off.
now we're talking, man.
Yeah.
Joe
Brian Pillman.
Burrow,
Icky Woods.
Joey B.
Pillman, go. Chris Collinsworth, I'll tell you.
Ooh. No doubt
All
about
right.
it.
Caller, thanks. What was your name,
Yeah.
caller?
Ryan. My name's Ryan.
Thank you,
Peace,
Ryan.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Well, it's
You
back
should
to
bring Mustard back though. He came back right as you like brought him out.
Oh, Muster? Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Let me. All right.
Monster
Thanks,
Buster,
Ryan.
where are you?
Muster.
To where Hoosier
Oh,
originates
here he is.
Oh, hey, Sam, I was talking about being a Hoosier. So, fucking basketball.
Indiana.
Yeah, motherfucker. Well, was born in West Hollywood, grew up southeast Indiana, where my
Oh,
mom's
crazy.
was. So I was thinking about what a Hoosier is, etymologically speaking.
Yeah.
And what it is, you can, it's a fucking mystery. That's the fun part. And
Huh.
James Whitcomb Riley, the local hero of children's poetry. He wrote Jack the Giant Slayer and Little Orphan Annie. Cool, awesome, weird poetry. But he said, him growing up in the schoolyard as an Indiana kid, getting the big fucking scraps and be like, at the end of it, like, all right, whose ear? Like, whose ear is this? You know, they pick it up off the ground. Whose ears? Whose ears missing? Now the other thing is, yeah, whose ear?
Who's here?
Ah.
That's pretty
man.
cool. I mean, I had never really considered that, but I think that's pretty cool. They got into enough fights that people lost ears and other appendages that they ended up naming like a mascot for it. Like
The Hoosier
ear.
fight, man. It defines an entire kind of culture and people, you know? A sub
Not
nation.
horse related at all?
So,
Oh, you want to talk about sports? Larry Bird, my man. One time I got on a train,
French
got robbed by a bunch of fucking assholes. Yes, in French Lick. You were there too, man. Okay, let's talk about French Lick. I used to hang out there sometimes with my buddy. We drive the ambulance up there. We were coming back from Kentucky. And so we'd with the sirens, man. We drive up all over like fuck light bulbs, you know, on the streets. Drive up the ambulance, get out French Lick, and be like, oh yeah. And then you like get a bunch of that sulfur water because there's like the sulfur spring. Load that shit up into the ambulance, come back and just like pour it all over everybody's like stoops or fucking porches at their houses, and it just smells like eggs, right? But
Yeah.
the cool place is Westbaden there. And it's one of the largest freestanding domes in the world, but it was created by all the Chicago gangsters because they needed a place to hang out their, their mistresses. I don't know, Guman, whatever the fuck, and shit from Sopranos is like,
Oh, yeah,
my good, right? So they had
That's what they say on The Sopranos. They say "Guma" and they also go "Oh."
Yeah, well, who does, man? Well, I tell you, okay, the reason it's one of the largest, most fucking badass freestanding domes that's still standing is because they were like didn't trust each other to have their backs to anyone. So all the rooms, there's a big ballroom in the middle, and then all the rooms that you stay in are on the second balcony and the first floor, all looking in. So there's no one ever behind you. They were all freaked out, like, oh, someone's gonna come in and fucking murk me. But no, so
Mustard
Chicago
Buster, if
gangster.
I may, I didn't say sports related. I thought Hoosiers was somehow horse related. It's not the term Hoosiers is not a horse related term at all.
Oh, let me give you the other fucking 3 places where the word Hoosier comes from. You dingerling. All right, let's go.
There's no cause for name calling that I can tell. I was trying to clarify a
Okay.
point.
Well, here's my point. I'm clarifying.
All right.
1, James Whitcomb Riley reference, and then 2 is the hollers. So everything's kind of hilly, like in Germany. That's why there's a lot of fucking Germans down there. Okay, that's why there's a lot of Scandinavians up in North Dakota, and a bunch of Swedes in Iowa. When people come over from Europe, they settle in places that are exactly like where they came from. So, like in Bavaria, Southeast Indiana is very Bavarian kind of geomorphology. So the one would be hollering through a holler, because you can hear through the valley, and be like, "Hey, who's there?" So that's the second one.
Like, hey, I found an ear. Who's
Yeah, no.
here?
Yeah, no, not that. Well, anyways,
Although it could potentially be that they could find an ear in the cave and be like, "Who's here?"
you say cave. Let me tell you about caves in Indiana. Indiana is all it's all crazy sitting on a hollow, like hollow land, man. It's Mammoth Cave is there. Also, the world's largest fucking flying mammal is there, the great big Indiana brown bat. And it's all just caves underneath, man. And there was this one guy who was a professor at IU, Indiana University, and he's like studying crickets. And he's like, "Oh man, crickets make weird noises." So then my buddy was like, "Oh, I read this paper." So he drove up to Indiana at IU. He was like, "Hey, professor." He's like, "What? I don't know who the fuck you are." He's like, "I know, but I got in touch with these other people that are doing gene splicing to say how you can manipulate cricket leg sizes." So he's like, "Look, man, I got the gene splice sequence to create the Nokia phone sound. When it like Nokia phone rings, it's like burp, burp, whatever the chirp noise." He's like, "We can just like inject this in a bunch of crickets." And the dude's like, "Dude, get away. Like, you're so unethical. This is not funny." He's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You can't do." He's like, "Dude, what? I'm hacking crickets. This is totally regular technology." He's like, "No, that's irresponsible and unethical." I was like, "Why?"
But why?
I mean-
Why would you want to put the phone sword
All right.
into the cricket? Why would we splicing?
Okay, all right, wait. You would do this because let's go back to earlier. You're dating some girl, you dump her, and then you want to get back with her, but then she's dating someone at the Astros. The Astros use Nokias as their company phone, and you think it'd be really funny if there were crickets that made this guy constantly pick up his phone.
And that's what I was really wanting you to do. Tie that shit back into Sportsboyz. You know?
Spoken like a true dingerling.
Dingerlinger.
Dingerlinger.
No, where I buy my shoes at the fucking shoe show next to the Walmart by the Sam Goody. Okay? I know what I'm talking about. As long as you can pull that back into sports, you got me all night, buddy.
Yeah.
Buster Fuster.
Who's here? You're here.
You're here.
I-
Who's here? Buster Fuster.
Who's here? You're here. Who's here?
Oh, wait, actually, I got some sports questions.
Oh,
I gotta go, man. It's 11 p.m. East.
No?
So,
Oh, lame. All right. Will the Ball family quit basketball? Will the Padres beat the Dodgers? I don't know. Is tennis better than Oh, here. I'm going to leave this as the last one. All right. Discus. Discuss. Thank you for your time.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I think LaMelo Ball is absolutely going to be a bust. I'm surprised at how quickly he started with his rookie season, but
I don't give a shit. I'm hanging.
Balls are really gonna...
All the balls are going forever. Ball is life, and baller for life. Come on. All the ball boys. All the ball boys are going to do it.
We can promise to discuss discus for sure another time. I'm down.
Another time. Yeah. Vince, this has been awesome having you on.
Oh, please. Thank you so much. Hell of a time.
This is have you done Twitch shows before?
No, I played a game one time with Colt Cabana over Twitch for some people,
nice.
I think, but that's my only foyer. We have that's my only Twitch stuff, you know.
You handled yourself really well. You handled
Thank
yourself
you.
really well.
Thank you. We watch wrestling podcasts, Monday Night Beers podcast, you know, all that good stuff.
You do do you do Monday Night Beers with Burns?
Monday Night Beers podcast is me, Jesse Pop, Mike Burns, and Gnarly Zach.
Oh, nice.
Anywhere you stream podcasts, it's a pretty chill hang for your Monday.
Man, I follow Gnarly Zach on Twitter, and he's a big sports fan. Like, he'll just be like, he'll tweet. I love his man. I love his tweets. I love you guys' tweets too. Vince, Sam, I'll see you guys on the internet.
I'm gonna do some thanks. I'm gonna stay here, do some thanks, then raid someone. But thank you guys so much.
All right. Thank you, boys.
This has been great.
Peace in the Middle East. We'll see you next time.
Hell yeah. Great job, Sam.
Great job, Greg.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
You rock my world, bro. You and your fans. Thank you. I'll call you during the Super Bowl.
All right. I'm gonna be all crazy. I'm just gonna ride it out with me all crazy right now. And do the thank yous. Sorry, I just burped. Thank you to Pog Daddy Raw Dog, sub for 5 months. Thank you to Kyle Crazy 05, subbed for 3 months. Sam, add me on Warzone. Kyle Crazy. I'm not gonna read out your full name, I guess. But maybe like hit me up when I'm doing Warzone in the future. The thing is that I get social anxiety. If I add you, I'm thinking like, all right, I'm going to be on and you're going to be like, play with me. And I'll be like, oh, then it's like this social thing. And I have to perform and I overthink it and I can't just sit and relax. But maybe if I'm streaming, if you hit me up while I'm streaming, I'll add you and we'll play while we're streaming. And, maybe, we'll go and play in the Rongina. We play Rongina. I've played with you many times, but yeah. So hit me up when I'm playing Warzone on stream. Let's see. I got a win last week. That was really fun. Check it out on Choom Room. And thank you to Lamby's USMC. Thank you for your service. Falcons are my team. They're probably going to suck again next year. Matty Ice. Thank you to Dr. Tryptamine. Love WKUK. You guys are my favorite. Oh, no, I read that one already, so I take that one back. Now I'm just going to thank you guys, and I am going to... I had a lot of fun streaming tonight, guys. I like this show. Thank you for supporting it. It really means... it means something. Wait, what? I was not on Twitch. It was on YouTube. It means something that you guys support. It's really appreciated. I really like doing this, and I really like that you guys are all involved. And that people actually, pay attention. And it's fun that I can bring people like Greg Johnson and Vince Averill on shows, and you guys show them. You guys are so welcome. It's very cool. All right, now let me get this raid going. Let me see. Who is around? We got Choom, who's doing politics. Any other suggestions? Good night, Principal Rolls. I don't know. Darren's not here. That's why Tony Pepperoni isn't here. See you guys at Self Suck. Any suggestions of who I should raid? Oh, Fantastic Plat. Are they on? Let me check. I'm gonna check to see. I'm surprised that we're not. I don't think they are, because. Oh, they are on. All right, yes, I'm definitely gonna raid Fantastic Plastics. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. This has been Sportsboyz. All sports, all the time. Sportsboyz.